When I think about my fishing journey, I've caught a lot of different kinds of fish. Sunfish, catfish, gobies, sturgeon, sheephead, carps, and even goldfish. However, none of these fish are good for eating. Most fish lovers know the only good fish is bass, but they are usually very hard to catch. In Canada, during the month of May, it's possible to catch a big load of bass within a short period of time, with very little preparation and skills needed. Today, I want to tell you about my most recent fishing trip and break it down so you can do it yourself next time. Let's go! A couple of weeks ago, I decided to go to the Detroit River for silver bass fishing. This is actually my third time going, and I've had tons of fun in previous years. Normally, the best time to go is after Mother's Day, when a massive crowd of fish moves upstream. Before heading out, I visited my local fish and tackle store to get some minerals and made sure I had my fishing rod and other equipment ready. It took me roughly 3 hours to get there, and every time I go, I stop at the en route service station around midway to either use washroom, fill up on gas, or get some coffee. This time was no different. The weather was okay when I first left home, but in the middle of my trip, it started pouring rain and the visibility became horrible. I had to be very careful driving beside trucks. It was not a fun drive after that. Situated on the southern shore of the Detroit River, Windsor boasts a rich history and a vibrant culture scene. It's a city known for its beautiful waterfront, diverse communities, and warm hospitality. Whether you are here for fishing like me, or to explore its many attractions, Windsor has something special for everyone. I arrived in Windsor around lunchtime, and the sun came out. The weather was hot and humid, so I couldn't fish right away. I decided to have lunch and rest a little bit before heading to the riverside around 3 p.m. There were not a lot of people there at all, maybe 3 within my sight. I knew the fish hadn't come out yet because otherwise there would be more people fishing. I casted a little bit, nothing, no movement. I kept casting for another 10 minutes and I got a big bite. It was a sheephead, not my target fish. You can't really do anything with it, even though it was a big fish, maybe 10 to 20 pounds. I threw it back into the river. It had been hot and humid all day, but it finally started to cool down around 7. There was also a little bit wind, making it quite comfortable to fish at the river. Soon enough, I got a bite and caught my very first silver bass of the day. Silver bass, compared to smallmouth and largemouth bass, are less willing to fight in the water. As long as you don't keep your line too tight, it's not too easy to lose them. It becomes even easier once you get a little experience. So don't worry, you don't need to be a bass pro to catch a silver bass. That evening, I fished for less than 3 hours. By 10 p.m., I had caught around 20 of them and decided to call it a day. Before my trip, I booked an Airbnb place to stay during my time in Windsor. The location was about 5 minutes walk from the fishing spot, which couldn't be more convenient. However, the house was quite old. The owner had renovated the little house to rent to 5 different customers. So as you can imagine, the living space was minimal, and you could hear other people in the house if someone got too loud. The next day, I decided to tour around the city instead of catching more fish. I walked along the Detroit River and noticed more and more people arriving, unpacking, and starting to fish. It was a foggy but cool day, and the enjoyable weather attracted many people from inside and outside the city to come and fish. Most parking lots were full even before 10 a.m. Families with kids were setting up picnic tables and chairs inside parks. The Windsor Fishing Festival had officially begun. There are many parks along the river, Among them, the Sculpture Park, also referred to as the Elephant Park, is one of the most well-known ones. On that day, for the very first time in my life, I had a samosa pizza. The flavors were definitely different, and it was a little bit too spicy for me. In the evening, I decided to treat myself by having Chinese food. I also started getting ready to head back home the next day. On the way home, the weather started becoming hot and humid again. I had to stop a couple of times to buy and add ice cubes to the cooler to ensure the fish stay fresh. By the time I got home, it was around lunchtime, so the family had steamed silver bass for lunch. So fresh!
If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel for more great content. Thanks for watching.